Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Erasmus Expeditions. We are here tonight with another Erasmus Expeditions Presents. I am sitting down here because I am not going to be running this game. This will be the third trilogy in a trilogy of trilogies run by the illustrious Baron up here in the Dungeon Master's chair. So I'm going to pass it over to him here in just a moment. But before I do, I'm going to go ahead and give the same warning that I give on the beginning of all of my games, and that is if foul language and mature subject matter are a problem for you, then I can bet that they're probably going to be a problem for you in this game. So don't watch this game if that's a problem. If those kinds of things are not a problem, then welcome. I don't know that there's anything else that I need to do. So I'm going to pass things over to Baron. Take it away.
All right. Happy to be here. Good afternoon, early evening for everybody, depending on where you're at. I'm Baron. You probably have seen me around the channel because I'm here more than some, less than I'd like. Either way, I've had the absolute pleasure of working on the third of three with my good friend Jeremy here, who has given me the absolute privilege of showcasing some of my work on his channel, and for that I am very grateful. We as a group have been working together for the better part of a couple months over the last 3 years to come up with Song of the Ards, the third known as the Saga of the Unbroken. And after 3 years, the end has finally come. But is it you for it, or it for you? Before we go any further, Jeremy has got to introduce himself. I'm going to pass it over to Jason and then to Philip to do their things, and then we will let Jeremy say anything if he wants to, and then get right into it. So go ahead, Jason, take it away.
Sounds like a plan. Hello, everyone. I am Jason Osorio, reprising the role of Svedna Nazif. I am very excited to play this character again for the third trilogy, potentially the last trilogy. Who knows? Yeah, this should be a blast. Thank you, as always, Baron, for having me on board with this, and Jeremy for hosting on this wonderful channel with so many wonderful stories being told by amazing and incredibly talented people. Very excited for this, and I will say no more as I pass it on to Philip.
Hey, I'm Philip. Like Jason said, it's really fun to revisit characters and settings that you have previously played for new missions. It doesn't happen so frequently. So thank you, Baron, for giving us the opportunity to do that. I'm really excited. Jeremy.
Yeah, very much the same. I don't know that I've ever really stopped playing a character and then gone back and played the same character again, much less 3 times. So it is very exciting to kind of visit them in different slices of their life. So I'm really excited because this is very much kind of like an end to a story arc within the character's arc itself. So I'm very excited to get to it. I'm super pleased that you asked to do this here on the channel, Baron, so thank you very much for coming to me and setting this up. Yeah, I am playing Alistair McKenzie. He's a human cleric, cleric of the grave, question mark. So yeah, he's kind of traumatized, a little bit on the older side, and now he's really traumatized because he's been adventuring with crazy people for the last several years. But yeah, I'm sure nothing bad is going to happen to any of us here, and everything's going to come up roses for old Alistair, but we'll see. So yeah, thank you very much, Baron, for asking me to be a part of this game and for agreeing to host it here. So back to you.
Just one little thing in relation to this thought of playing characters over and over again. It's like, to me, these characters are almost the most real things in this setting, because they are like, it's been confirmed 3 times you exist. So pillars of a project, they're important. I'm also going to do my best to not talk while muted, because I have only ever watched a handful of videos of that I've run. I swear everyone's like, you're muted.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's inevitable.
I think it happens in every game I've ever played in.
We all have our things, man.
That's part of the drinking game when you rewatch. You're like, you did
Be
it.
careful about that one. You might die.
Whoa.
Dude, we literally have
Alright.
bingo cards in Paradise, and
Yeah.
every time Jake like swaps character names, it's like
I'm gonna slide that under the MTD door for the bingo cards.
there you go.
Every time I need to say I'm muted. All right, if you guys are ready, let's do it. 10th moon, twilight of autumn, of the 828th year, in the light of our Lord, the Iron Ring. May the Creator's benevolence shine down upon us all. The Creator's light feels thin here, as though the heavens avert their gaze from this place. Where once gardens bloomed, bells sang, now nothing remains but a corpse-choked plain beneath a slate-gray sky. Northern plains of Osland stood before the Rotwood, once golden, once verdant in life fields. It is now a shambling graveyard of corpses that cannot find rest. The sky has not lightened above a dark shade of gray since you've crossed into the veiled territory. The fieldlands of Osland, which are commonly gray and dreary this time of year, seem to have taken on an additional coat of paint by the divine architect above. What a cruel irony that even some of the shards of mosaic are of such a dark hue. Once you crossed the border into what was the Rotwood, the canopy of trees basically blocked whatever light remained. Any of the light that fought so hard to reach the crust of the earth here in this forsaken place. It's dark and it's cold, and to make matters even more bleak, the food has been increasingly hard to find. What places you pass through have had such a time facing with hordes of undead, roving bandits, monsters of many kinds, that many fields either went unplanted or were trampled one too many times. Peasant folk, left for the most part to fend for themselves, have hunted and fished the king's land to basically complete scarcity. This winter, it has been said, will be the one where the halls of the underworld finally break and the damned spew forth to the earth, as there's no room left in hell. Alistair, Svedna, you had been traveling alongside your companion Tom, a dwarf man with a long, bushy white mustache and eyebrows that covered over his eyes. His rough spun tunic and traveling clothes, matching all of yours, really, just soiled from a year's worth of travel that it took to get you here, have all been replaced, much as your soiled equipment, as you were all taken to a long patrol safe house that was loosely outfitted, enough so to re-equip you all with clothes that weren't torn, boots that weren't ripped, the like, as well as some new cloaks, some that might better hide you from the things that prey on the weak and unwilling. It was in this safe house that you reacquainted yourself with someone from your past, someone that you had not seen in some time, Guthrum, who more or less looks better. And it is in this place that we will describe what we see, who we see in this safe house. We see Tom, obviously his new studded leather, kind of holding what was once a well-fed frame. For a dwarf, he's looking pretty slender, but his mustache remains perfectly combed and his eyebrows as expressive as ever. So what do we see? Who else is in this safe house?
I think, though, the traveling clothes and things and the cloaks are new, I think that there is still a part of Alistair's clothing, his regalia, that is still the same, his vestments, to Anek. soiled, bloodied. He's had the chance to clean them, I would imagine, given the safe house that we're out. But there's still spots where it's a little threadbare, or him is dog-eared, and there's some stains that are just not going to come out. There's a lot of blood that has been spilled on these vestments. So he has cleaned them as best as he can to be presentable, but I think the wear still shows on the garment, much like the wear still shows on himself and his face and the way he holds himself. It's very obvious that this last year of travel has been particularly hard on him. He was busy building the previous cathedral, so it kept him active, but that's different than marching through hard lands for an entire year. And I think that that's definitely showing. So I think he's probably seated somewhere, probably with his feet up, and he's like rubbing his legs, like his quads right above his knee, kind of like trying to like work out some of the aches and pains.
And I think maybe if there's like any windows in this building, I think kind of standing by one of these windows, we see this like roughly 5'8" bat-winged tiefling woman with bright red skin. Seems to be in her early 30s, sort of muscular, very scarred, but I think a lot of the scars have faded. There aren't many fresh ones. Svedna actually looks a lot cleaner, a lot healthier than she did the last time we saw her. She looks like she's actually trying to take care of herself a little bit more. She has sort of like long black hair, and I think actually over this year that she has been traveling with Alistair and Tom, she has carved this very crude like stone fox totem that she has braided into her hair to show that she is trying to learn from Alistair both how to put down the hot coal of past mistakes, so to speak, but also learning the teachings of Anek, of this totem of death, essentially, this guide to the grave. But there are other changes too. I think Svedna's eyes are completely indigo now. There's no red, there's no iris or pupil. It's just completely purplish blue, which is reflected in this swirl of crystalline growths that sprout from her left palm. And I think actually at this point, there are actually like spikes of crystal starting to grow out of her arm. I don't think it's like the skin is like peeling back or there's any kind of corrosion or deterioration, but it almost looks like spines, I imagine, just a handful, maybe like half a dozen or so. She still has that half a tail, an old wound that will never heal. And she is wearing, imagine this sort of like ill-fitting chain armor. It looks very uncomfortable on her. And then she has this shield that is sort of enshrouded in more of this indigo crystal, and she is working very hard to hide the symbol of the faith of Zalir that adorns the front of this particular shield that she claimed. And then I think immediately anyone that looks at this tiefling sees this stone elvish blade that is strapped to her back, which is also threaded through with more of this purplish blue crystal that has the infernal word for mistake carved into it, and it is Greshka, this sword that has caused so much pain, not just for her, but for everyone in this general region. And I think her gaze is alternating from looking out the window, sort of at the tree line or wherever we are in relation to the Rotwood itself, and occasionally glancing back at Alistair. And I think there is this slight furrow to her brow because she knows he is getting older. He's not quite as fast as he used to be. And I think she is worried for him and for Tom that something unfortunate may happen to them as we plunge into this undead infested forest of nightmare, to say nothing of what awaits us at the end of this journey, or who awaits us at the end of this journey.
And walking over to the fire that Svetna and Alistair are sitting around, carrying precariously 3 goblets of wine, and kind of like stumbling a little bit. A now completely bald but well-kept, bushy bearded and very bushy eyebrowed Guthrum Gladhammer comes walking over. His cheeks are a bit more red these days. It looks like he has a little bit of, red patches on his nose from imbibing probably too much. But he also seems more jolly and in a better place now than he was before. His balance is a little uneasy because he has giant great axe and maul strapped to his back, and his thick fur skin boots as he walks over. He's a little quieter than he was before, but still very cumbersome. And Svedna, take this before I drop it. Oh,
yeah, she'll take it in one kind of scarred hand, kind of look at Guthrum. Thank you, Guthrum. She'll take a little sip.
Oh, yes, of course. Here, Alistair. It is good to see you too.
Thank you, Guthrum. It surprises me that we ran into you. Well, I hate to use the word happenstance, but fate, perhaps.
Yes, could be fate. Something is drawing us here, and I think we know what that is.
Right.
Indeed.
Responsibility.
I think Svedna kind of tilts her head to the side as you say that, Guthrum, but doesn't say anything. Something like that.
It's been some time since I've been through lands that are as troubled as these. Stripped bare of any sign of life or mirth. It taxes one's soul.
That it does.
You must not blame yourself for releasing the Headless One, Alistair. We all share responsibility here.
I think Svedna's eyes snap to you when you say that, Guthrum. Like there's no expression, there's no anger, but I think, especially like Alistair and Tom, I think you would know, like, the closer we got to the Rotwood, the more sort of like tense Svedna has become, because she does, to a lesser extent now than a year ago, she does consider herself to be largely responsible for this, with potentially the exception of Shanavan, given what happened, I guess it'd be 8 years ago now. But she's getting better at not like punishing herself as much for that. I think she'll move away from the window to sort of sit down by you, Alistair, kind of folding the wings in a little bit so she doesn't take up as much room, just sort of join the conversation a little more.
Well, life is not about getting through it without making mistakes. It's about realizing when you've made a mistake and doing what you can to correct it.
Yes, that is true. Baron, are there many other like Long Patrol members in the safe house, or is it really just us, maybe like a handful of others, or?
You're muted.
Aha, drink.
Wow, dude. It's the second. Never mind.
It's the second. Like clockwork, you could set your watch by.
Dude, I'm consistent.
You are consistent.
So when you were coming here with Tom, it was to meet a guide to assist you into getting to Greenhaven. You were coming to meet a man named Janus One Eye, who is supposed to be from this region.
Was that the guard captain from Fernwood?
It was.
Oh my god!
Wow. Inspiration point for Jason.
Jason, you can take a point of inspiration.
Great, I'll take it. You know me, I'm a sucker for a good
Actually,
callback.
it's heroic inspiration in this, and I think you can use it on any roll. It doesn't just have to be a d20. It can be damage.
I'm all about it.
There is some smaller 2025 rules that are kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were coming to meet him here, and there really wasn't. It was really kind of serendipitous that Guthrum was here when you guys showed up. It was like, you open the door and it's like, oh, what the fuck are you doing here? And Guthrum, you were probably here meeting with Janus. I don't know necessarily how friendly you guys are, but really anybody that is staying in this area has been relying on the long patrol for assistance in some fashion. Safety, food, water, shelter, you name it. Like, these guys have been the de facto, like, keep the people where they can be so there's not like massive waves of refugees moving across the country. It's not the ideal because people are dying from undead, but there are greater costs. So Guthrum, you probably are no stranger to these outposts, and these outposts are like a fissure between two large stones where you go between them, and there's like a small chamber within large enough to camp like 4 people and like a fire. There's also, houses that have like false rooms where, you can go in, there's a chest or 2, there's a bed or 2, some blankets, a cloak, enough to out. They're like little cache houses that kind of line the more or less dead zone into the rotwood. Janus walks in. He is old beyond reason. This man belongs in a crypt. He has a broken occipital bone, and the eye in that socket is clouded and gray. His other eye, a piercing blue, that just rips through any kind of security or guard you have. He sees through you. He comes in, Alistair. He actually has your armor, which we see is the mail of a Knight Solar, but he has kind of removed the ring and sunburst emblem from the chest plate, and he's used what he has, and there is now a firefly where that would be, and it's just kind of like this very simple, like a head, 2 kind of like wings, a body, just the sigil of the long patrol. I did what I could. It still looks like Knight Solar armor, Alistair.
Well, it's not so much what it looks like. It's a matter of what it can still do. He kind of says with some heavy meaning.
Well, I cleaned her up, got most of the blood off. I don't think you'll fool anybody with that firefly on your chest there, but...
Well, I appreciate you taking the time and the effort to do what you could. It's certainly an improvement.
Well, there's nothing else. We should clean up after ourselves, and we got a journey.
Sure. What is it, 3 days to Greenhaven?
3 days. We'll take enough food to get us there, but we're going to be pushing it to get back. Ideally, we find something on the road, but I'm not putting any money on it.
Will we be staying mainly to the roads then?
Where we can. Thankfully, the shambling dead don't really pay attention much to road or forest. They just move in a direction that suits them. So it doesn't really matter whether we stay on the road or not. There's not too many living folk, and I don't anticipate we'll run into any of them, but we may.
What about old settlements or watchtowers or anything, roadhouses along the way?
Most of it has been razed or cleared. I will have to do a couple checks on the way just to confirm they're either still clear or if they've now been
Overtaken. Destroyed.
If we can find shelter before what little light there is disappears, probably for the best, even if it means stopping a little sooner.
Agreed. We'll see how far we can get. If it rains, we might move a little slower. Hard to control the elements. What 2 things. I do know of someone that may be on the edge of Greenhaven that may be able to help us. And two, while we're there, we must look for the Grand Firefly. He went into the darkness a week ago, and there's been no word since. We fear the worst. The long patrol will carry on without him, but to say his loss would be a detriment to the cause is an understatement.
Is the thinking that he also went to Greenhaven?
Aye. I believe so.
Do we know what pretense it was under that he left? Could help in how we may be able to track him down?
He seemed to have stumbled across some information that assisted him in getting into the city. We know very little about what goes beyond the walls within. Well, to be frank, he's the best of us. And if one person was going to be able to get in there and do it, it was going to be him.
We can try to find him, but Sven will look out through the window again. I do not think that should be a priority, to be honest.
He kind of like puts his hands up, and I mean, no disrespect to your mission. I understand we all have our own motivations. But if you could keep an eye out, you'd be much appreciated.
Of course.
Certainly. No one should be left abandoned out in a place like this. Even one as talented as your head Firefly.
I think he's still alive. I gotta believe it. May he walk the long path of grace. He looks at you, Guthrum. Are you sure you want to be going? I know the missus wouldn't be too keen.
She's had her time to seek glory. It is now my turn to ensure that I am meeting my responsibility.
Very well. You know the routine. Leave the message just in case.
Understood.
You're married? Since when?
He'll turn a little more beet red across his balding head. Whoa. Yeah, lots happens, Fedna. There are things that, every adult encounters as they age and wanting to
Guthrum, I'm in my 30s. You don't need to
settle
explain this to
down,
me
have
like
a
I'm a
couple
child.
kids.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, I forget how quickly it is you folk grow. You were about your father's age, or when I first met him.
Oh, that is interesting. I did not know that. I thought he was older, but interesting.
By the time we had our ordeal, yes, but anyway, yes. I married Istina, the fawn who helped us back then. We have 2 little fawns of our own now.
So are they like dwarven bodies with like the goat legs, or is it like just
more
fawn
ram-like?
Oh,
They're
I see.
mountain goats.
Why do you keep your kids out in a pen? That's weird.
Dude, they just walk straight up walls.
That sounds
very
awful.
very thick skulls,
Eat garbage.
constantly butting heads.
Like their father, then. Got it.
If you have a family that is counting on you, Guthrum, are you sure that you want to be here?
That's a good point.
That is definitely a thought that I struggle with constantly. But what was more difficult for me to deal with is knowing that my kids would not have a world for their future. And if that was, and I know that to be partly my responsibility, I felt beholden to trying to ensure the world is a better place, even if that means it's not with me here.
Sobering thought, but a noble action. You've come a long way, Guthrum, since I've known you.
I've had a lot of people to look up to put me on the right path, Alistair.
Surely you can't mean Svedna.
No,
I mean,
of course not.
I don't think I ever smelled like, the inside of a beer barrel, so, I'm glad you took after my example in that way, Guthrum.
Yes, the grooming was maybe forced upon me by Christina, but there are things that yes, she improved.
The joys of married life. Lucky you.
Well, I suppose there's no longer putting it off. He kind of like looks down at like his bare feet where he's had like his boots off and like has been trying to relax. He reaches down and he starts putting his boots back on to get ready to go.
I think if
No.
Alistair will allow her, Svedna will kind of move over and help him up if he has any difficulty standing. I think it's become something that she's just sort of like automatically started to do towards like the latter portion of their year of traveling together with Tom, depending on if Alistair needs it, since he's getting on in years. Perfect timing, right as Jeremy took a bite, like a pro.
It's at the same time, Tom. Oh, well then, I think I'll be getting up too.
Are you sure you want to do this, Tom? I mean, I don't know if you have a family back in Drift, but last chance to
From
back out.
beneath one eyebrow, you see just a coal black eye. You should know better than to talk to me that way. I'm here for the long haul.
I know you are. Thank you, Tom.
Janus, go ahead and lead us out. You are taken from this place. The 3 days is uneventful isn't the word. You have succeeded in getting this far without much detection. There are, of course, stray, shambling undead that need to be dispatched between here and there, but it's only really when they horde that they're a threat to the unprepared. It is safe to say at this point, Alistair, Svedna, Guthrum, you have slain many, many who deserve to rest peacefully. And it is through your actions that they may now can. May now can. I don't know if that's correct, but
sounded good.
Like I said, you were given enough food to get there, but it will be a stretch to get back. Furthermore, places of rest will need to be either fortified, secured, or, I mean, to be completely honest, we discussed this in session 0. Without safety, you cannot get a long rest. You are very close to your destination, the fallen city of Greenhaven, the crypt capital of the north. Your target, the Headless One, resides within. Since you have entered the tree line, you have also been able to see some of the carnage. There are just like raised buildings. The gardens that would have been outside these homes are just like dug and like just savaged, like there was something to harm buried within the soil. They're not even carcasses anymore. It's just bones of so many livestock that just these like bleached white, just almost totems that rise out of the grass that's been matted down by this heavy rain that intermittently hits the rot wood. And it's dark. It barely rises above dim light, no matter where you are. Even the breaks in the trees, it doesn't really give you anything to work with. It's hard to tell what time it is, and thankfully, given your guys' extensive traveling, your kind of inherent clock takes care of most of your, like, I'm going to walk until I'm done for the day. Janus has kept you on a pretty solid pace. He's old, so he's not breaking any records here, but he is good at what he does. So you have largely made it here safely. Until you are on the edge of a clearing. You sit hidden on the edge of a battle. Two parties. You can see on one side there's actually something I forgot to pull up. There are 5 individuals, human or humanoid. You can see there are a dwarf, 3 humans, and a halfling. They are being assailed. Across from them in this clearing, there are 2 individuals that are dead. They are people sitting atop horses, both of which are dead, but they are connected, firing longbows. And there's 2 of these horse people amalgamations. And then behind them are recognizable druids of the circle, but they are also in varying states of decay. You can see, like, their skin is like that, like a mottled gray. Like, you can see where, like, they have mold kind of growing on patches of exposed flesh. Their robes also covered in, like, lichenous growths, ripped and torn. You can see, like, savage wounds that don't bleed, but the flesh beneath isn't the color of living tissue. It's like a gray. And they are kind of like hands out. You can see their mouths mumble incantations, their eyes fixed upon these individuals as the ground is kind of like writhing to come up and overtake any of those too slow to get away. What would you like to do?
How far away are we from the druids right now?
From the druids, I would say you're
Mhm.
about 80 feet.
Oof, jeez. Okay. And the weird undead horse monsters are right in front of them, correct?
I
Basically.
would say so. You're about 65 feet from them.
Okay, got it.
And then from the, let me actually further describe them. You see they're humanoid. They all wear kind of a uniform. There's like it's like a denim work shirt and like thick wool trousers. This is the uniform of any schmuck who finds employment under the Blackthorn banner.
Mm.
They don't look like loggers. These look like outdoorsmen, hunters, scouts.
How far are they from us?
I'd say they're about 30 feet from you.
Are they like in any kind of cover or?
No, that's the problem, is they're kind of like caught in this open area.
Okay.
You see, like, this was once maybe like a farmstead, as there's no major trees growing in this space, but the building is gone. You see that they're kind of in like the like shell of maybe like a brick interior. And like there's a remnants of an old floor and like a hatch is sticking up. It seems like they've been caught digging around in like the remnants of one of these houses and are being assailed.
I could get into the ruins of the house and try to fly them out, keeping low to the ground if you 2 or you 4 actually, Janus, if you want to help, could distract them so I don't get peppered with arrows the entire time, or spells.
Should we send them a message? Let them know that we're trying to save them?
I mean, we could. I imagine they'll figure that out, though, when I try to lead them out or fly them out. But we could do that too.
They may be able to aid with the distraction if we let them know what we're trying to do.
Do they look like fighters, Baron? Like, I know you said
I
they
mean,
don't look
they
like
all
loggers,
have
but
weapons.
right.
They all look.
They look like experienced
capable.
with the weapons, or like they're just barely
mean,
holding it together.
They look like they were surprised. They also don't look like. I mean, no one really is like, oh, yeah, I can handle magic.
Right.
Also, like, are you dead? You know.
I think it makes more sense to try and get them out of here while we focus on dealing with the undead.
And
It's good.
we're in the woods, kind of at the edge of this clearing.
Yes, you are hidden, so
Okay.
they haven't observed you yet.
Okay. I think Alistair is kind of watching this situation unfold, and he draws his his shield and Hugh out. And then he looks to Guthrum and he says, "Well, the Smeds is going to go after them. It's best that you go left and I go right. We divide their attention." And he turns to the right and just starts tracing through the woods, trying to basically like move along the interior of this wooded edge of the clearing, to try to get a little bit closer to whichever side is to the right.
I think kind of as you're walking away, Alistair, you maybe start to notice like your shield, it kind of glows briefly with this like pale light that immediately fades away, and you feel there's some kind of like barrier just a few inches above your skin that is just barely visible. It's almost like glass. Svedna is going to cast Unstoppable, also known as Shield of Faith, on you. So your AC is buffed by 2. I think like her eyes go, instead of like this purplish blue color, they flash with almost like the heat of like a forge almost, but it's like white. It's like this metallic white color. And then she blinks and shakes her head, having conveyed this protection to Alistair, and then looks to Guthrum to see if he's going along with this crazy old man's plan.
Yeah, definitely. I'll head to the left. I'll cast Bark Skin on myself as a bonus action. My AC is 17.
And then I guess Svedna will look to Tom and say, "Do you want to? I know you're better sort of hitting and running and then hitting again, so maybe stay in the tree line."
Giannis
For
and
me?
I will cover you.
Oh, sorry.
The other dwarf.
Giannis and I will cover you.
Thank you, Tom. And you too, Janus. And yeah, and I think Svedna will kind of like crouch. I mean, she can't really be quiet in the chainmail armor that she's wearing, but she flares these giant bat wings. And yeah, she'll just, as soon as the other two break the tree line, she's just going to launch herself at the ruins of this building to try to get these people out, or at least get them to the trees away from the horse archers and the druids.
Let's roll some initiative.
Let's not. I'm just kidding. I
No.
don't wanna. Oh man, it's big 19.
Nice.
2.
What did you get, Jeremy? 10?
10.
Okay. So, looks like we are Svedna, Alistair, Guthrum. Well, actually, top of the round, the bandit. I said there was 3 humans, a dwarf, and a halfling.
2 humans, a dwarf, and a halfling is what I have written down. I could be wrong.
3 humans, dwarf, halfling is what it is. one of the humans. He is one being like wrapped by this entangle spell. He's panicking frantically. He's gonna try and roll to is. He rolls a 3, total of 5. He's like pulling at these vines. Like, get him off me! Get him off me! And you can actually see it's the other human is like very similar in facial expression to this guy. Family, cousins or brothers. He's also like trying to pull at it when it's his turn. But currently, like the guy is struggling to try and pull these vines off, and he can't. And they're like, it's not just holding him. You hear like the crunch as like one of these vines is like breaking his leg. He doesn't take damage, but that's the outcome of what will happen. So Edna, your turn.
Okay, so only one is entangled, and another individual is trying to pull the vines off them. Correct? None of the others are entangled. Is that accurate?
There is one more person entangled. It's the dwarf Tough, who
Okay.
wears like a rough spun tunic. He doesn't have sleeves. He is like taking steps and like pulling free, and like they'll grab him again, and he's like pulling free.
Okay. Yeah, I think Svedna will, if they are within 30 feet of the kind of tree line's edge here, she will launch herself forward with her wings to try and get to the entangled human, the one who's potentially about to have his leg broken. And she will kind of land next to him or like beside him. She'll look to the others, with the exception of the dwarf that is sort of like moving forward, though maybe he'll stop moving forward, and she'll just say, get back to the trees. Don't try and fight them. We'll take care of this. And then I guess, could she use an action to try to help this individual, like pull himself free, the human that is currently entangled, or how would that work?
I would say, given that you are a hero of legend, you could roll a athletics check and try and remove the vines from him.
Okay, I will do that. Roll physical dice. Oh my gosh, that's natural 20 for a 22.
What does it look like?
I think, allegedly, fair. I think Svedna is in this moment, although there's a small part of her that's like, this is a distraction from what we need to be focusing on. I think there's a part of her that is also, again, starting to feel sort of the gnawing guilt of how many other people have been in situations just like this because I picked up this fucking sword. And so I think just the rage and the desire to not have anyone else die because of this awful situation that happened almost a decade ago kind of fills her. She just wraps her arms around this man and just like pulls him out of these grasping vines, maybe right as they are about to snap like his femur or something like that. And kind of like sets him behind her and just says, run to the trees. And I assume that'll be it unless she gets a bonus action or anything like that.
I mean, if you have a bonus action, you can do it.
Do I?
Do you?
Do I? So from where she is now, how far is she from the druids specifically?
They were about 80 feet, and so they're about 50 feet from you.
No. Oh, balls. All right. Actually, hang on. Do I have so many new spells and stuff? Let's see. Yeah, no, I don't think I have any. Well, you know what? Yeah, she'll kind of hold out that left arm that has sort of the little indigo colored crystalline spines sprouting out of it. And I think almost again, like through some kind of weird telekinetic magic, a few of them like pluck themselves free of her skin and just hurtle across the clearing. She will cast Hex on one of these druids as these embedded shards just stab into the druid one after another and then sink into the skin. And that will be the end of her turn.
As you do, we see this entity along your arm begin to react to your
Actually, I apologize. I'm going to walk that back because that'll break concentration on Shield of Faith. That is my bad. Ignore that. Sorry.
The entity does not react.
She's about to. She's like, oh shit, I can't do that. Never mind. Focus on saving people and keeping the old man alive. All right, that's it.
And that will bring us to the guy's brother. Thank you. Where did you?
Don't ask questions. Just get to the trees.
He takes John. Come on, and he's like pulling him, and like the guy's like stumbling. He's like, his leg. You can see like it's bruised. Like the pant leg is ripped. He's like limping now. The one human is going to use half his movement to pull the other guy with him, 15 feet. Then we have the halfling. He is going to, we kind of see like this. It's like a moving shot. The guy's pulling him, and like the camera zooms. We see the halfling. He's already got his bow drawn. He's gonna shoot at the druid that was casting. He rolled an 18, so he fires from his short bow. This arrow, we hear it whistle through the grove, and it sticks into this robed individual whose arms are out. And it sinks into his chest with an audible thud. The individual does not react. It does damage. You can definitely see like torn flesh, and like his body is damaged, but he himself, psyche-wise, did not react. For clarification, there's no mechanical resistance he's displaying here. He's just
How dare you clarify things like a good DM, Baron? Get out of here. We don't do that here.
He's just he just doesn't care. His companion, the druid's companion, the other druid who was not casting Entangle, you see he is actually going to cast a spell himself. He is going to, from where you guys stand, this individual, you cannot see his face. You can definitely see like through the torn robe that he is also this mottled gray. From above him, he raises his hands, and there is a small mote of green fire that rises up, and he throws it. I need Svedna, my halfling, and 2 humans to all make dexterity saving throws.
Oh boy.
DC 17.
That is a failure for Svedna. I'm going to burn 1 luck point to reroll that.
Oh, actually, the dwarf has to roll as well.
That is slightly better, but it is still not sufficient. So I will take that then.
Okay. The only one of this group that was right here, so there's still what looks like maybe the leader on the far edge here that isn't within this, but all 4 of the humans were within, or not 4 humans. 2 of the humans, the halfling and the dwarf, were all within range of this spell.
Oh no.
The halfling and dwarf both succeeded. Both humans failed.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 8d6 fire damage.
All right. Oh, you're fortunate.
I also have resistance to fire damage, so that helps Svedna, but not the civvies.
22 points of damage.
Okay. So that is half to 11. And what is the distance on this? I don't think I'm close enough. They were, 65 feet away from where Svedna is now? Is that correct? Or was it 60?
50.
50. Okay, in that case, I need a dexterity saving throw DC 14 from the druid that just cast the fireball.
Okay. halfling and dwarf are still alive.
Nice.
The halfling looks fucked.
What about the
The dwarf-
humans?
They are incinerated.
Oh
They
God.
they were like running and like this. Yeah, it's just kind of brutal. This black scorched spot remains where the two brothers were trying to escape.
Mm.
You were saying, sorry, I had a lot of health too.
No, you're good.
There.
I need a DC 14 dex save from the druid that just cast Fireball.
He did not succeed.
Okay, so I think maybe seeing these two people that were on their way to the tree line to safety just get obliterated. Svedna is just awash in these green flames, and although they do burn her somewhat, I imagine like her hair more than anything else is burning a little bit, but other than that, she seems mostly unharmed. I think she reaches out. Some of that fire takes on this, like, again, purplish blue hue and will streak towards that druid as this individual is going to take 3d10 fire damage from a hellish rebuke or a crystalline burst. Just imagine like the flames hit the ground and then just shatter up into crystals. So that will be terrible damage. That is 11 points of fire damage to that druid.
They lodge into his torso. Once again, you visibly see him take damage. It's not like he's resisting anything, but they just don't respond viscerally in the face at all.
Fair.
Alistair. So to kind of set the field here, we have within a clearing that is probably about 100 feet across total. Where you were originally, you were 30 feet from this Blackthorn group. You were 80 feet from the druids, which were two casters, and then like riders on undead horses that seem to be one object apiece. They are about 15 feet in front of the caster, so that would have put them like 65 feet from you originally. You guys split, Svedna went across. So you're still about the same distance you were. I think you're just on the other side of this clearing.
Okay, perfect. And I don't know the 2024 ruling. Is it still you can cast 2 spells, but one of them has to be a cantrip? Does that restriction still apply?
Correct. As long as it occupies 2 different like actions.
Right. But one of them has to be a cantrip. Okay. So in that case, I'm not going to be able to
unless Jeremy, you have like a spell from like a feat or something that doesn't take a spell slot. I think that's an update from 2024. It could be a cantrip or a spell that does not require a spell slot. So if you have like, I don't know, like the Fey touched feat or something, and you can cast Misty Step once a day or long rest doing that, then you don't have to worry about that restriction.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. I don't know that it applies to either of the spells that I was going to try to cast. So I think I'm going to stick with my original plan then. So Alistair has been kind of like skirting this clearing, and now that Svedna has gotten out there and this fireball has just erupted, that smell of charred flesh kind of like wafts its way towards Alistair, and it's something he has smelled before. Again, a long time ago whenever he served as a medic. And so I think it kind of instantaneously takes him back to one of the times that he was in the aftermath of one of these enormous battles. This field of corpses, some of them burnt, but he remembers particularly trying to help an elven woman who had severely been injured, and he had been with her for some time. His magic had long been spent. He was trying actual first aid to try to save her, and it just simply wasn't working. And eventually she passes, and he's struck by the absolute lack of any kind of noise around him. How deftly deafeningly silent it is. And as he kind of like opens his eyes, he has strolled 30 feet closer to the combat and has extended his shield holding hand forward, and he is going to cast silence, centered on the druids in particular. But if it can catch the riders as well, then awesome. It is a 20-foot area.
You can definitely hit both of the druids and
Perfect.
probably one of the riders.
Okay, excellent.
To piggyback off what you were saying just a little bit, this memory, you're giving first aid to this woman and, it goes silent, and then there's a hand. You remember this being Daraba's hand as she was trying to, like, pull you free. Like, you hear her say, "Come on, Alistair, we must go." You turn and you look up to her and you see what you've seen the last time you've seen her, the like burnt remains of half of her body, as she too was burnt.
And he winces ever so slightly, squeezing the tears that had kind of like welled up in his eyes, like free from their perch, as they then like run down his weathered, leathery face down into his scruffy beard, and he doubles down on his concentration of trying to maintain this hopeful preventative measure from them casting any more magic.
All right, that brings us to my centaur men, who are going to ring either side of this area. Actually, one is going to swing out wide to attack you. It's not centaur. He pulls. He's just going to attack with his longbow. He makes 2 attacks. He fires 2 shots. You see as he rides, like, there are no legs of this man. It's like his upper body is just like stuck into the top portion of this horse. The horse itself is in varied states of decay, and it does not have a head, so it's like this fake centaur. He is going to roll to attack you, Svedna, twice. The first is dirty 20. The second is a 16.
The dirty 20 will hit. The 16 will not.
Right. You're going to take 13 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Oh, no, I was correct. 9 points of piercing damage.
So it is 9. Okay.
It is 9.
Heal 4. Got it.
Sorry. He launches these 2 arrows in quick succession. They are nasty looking barbed things. Like, you're hit with one, you take the damage, and like as soon as you hit, it's like these things are not meant to be pulled out. You do so anyway, it kind of pulling free with a wince. The other, seeing that he is also under the effect of this spell, presumably the people behind him as well, this centaur is going to fire at you, Alistair. An 18 and a 15 to hit.
The 18 will hit. That is my armor class currently.
Okay. You are going to take 6 points of piercing damage. The same. This wicked barb just buries itself into your body. There's no place this can hit you where it's like, oh, that's okay. That's their turn. The second centaur is not going to move. He keeps himself interposed between the group at large and the druids, which will bring us to the dwarf. The smoke that's kind of billowing from this blackened scorch mark is kind of like now starting to waft away. You see he, like, arms up. He is singed. Motherfuckers. And he is going to throw a hand axe. It's all he can do from the... Actually, no, he has a crossbow. He's going to use his crossbow. He can fire 1 bolt from his crossbow. And he hits. He's gonna hit the mage that was shooting the fireball. MVP dwarf, 8 points of damage. That brings us to Guthrum.
Guthrum will step into the clearing and scream towards the druids. He will cast Enlarge on himself, and then he will wild shape into a giant bear.
Okay.
Over here, trying to bring as much heat off of Alistair as possible. Okay. So that was that one, and let me mark my
And
wild
you just
shape.
move into the clearing to get their attention.
I will. Sorry, let me add my 10 hit points here.
I meant to say the dwarf, after he's shot, he's gonna use his movement to run towards the edge of the woods.
Great. I want to barrel towards the druid. I have a movement of 40 feet. Let me make sure that Enlarge doesn't give me extra movement. Sorry. Target size increases one category. The target also has advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. Attacks with enlarged weapons or unarmed strike deal an extra d4 damage. No extra movement.
I mean,
Okay.
it would put you in space with the centaur that moved forward.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I don't have enough actions to do any damage, but
I mean, he's
I would-
wielding a bow, and you can get within range of him. So if he did attack, you'd have to move away.
yeah, I'm definitely going to go do that. And I'm just going to be roaring in his face.
Roaring.
Bark skinned, enlarged, wild shaped bear.
All right, that will bring us.
Tactical.
There are 3 people that are going currently. The spy rolled a 1, and then Tom and Janus were just gonna be at the bottom of the order. You see Tom and Janus actually. Janus is grabbing the dwarf and like pulling him into the tree line, and you see like Janus kind of disappear into the trees with him, probably getting him on his way. And Tom, he doesn't carry much, but he has seemingly disappeared as his vantage wasn't close enough to give him an attack. The spy has a stat block. Top of the round.
Did
That
the other
guy's-
druid go? The other undead druid? Because weren't there 2 of them, or was there only 1?
He did not. He was supposed to go after the centaurs.
Okay.
Jason's like, I would like another
I
fireball,
would like
please.
another guy to attack me.
Yes,
please.
please.
I would like
Please
another
hit me.
guy to attack me, please.
There's still a dwarf over here who's breathing.
He
Sven is
He
like, you
also-
missed
he-
me.
he is going to maintain concentration on his entangle spell, so you are in difficult terrain. And I think this is just an attack.
And that flies.
Yeah, Svedna does. The other people don't.
Yeah.
He his hand already out. He kind of like, you see kind of like wrench and like kind of twist in an unnatural way, and some more of these like green motes of fire come. It's not as exasperated as the mage, but he's going to cast a ranged hellfire attack.
Can he do so from within silence?
Okay, so that would actually, I don't know, would that stop entangle? I don't think it stops.
Does it have
I
a
don't
does it
think
have
it's.
a verbal
If it's
component?
already cast, I don't imagine it
Oh.
would interfere with the spell. But if he's casting another
And
spell, then it probably
so
would. If it has verbal.
Verdant Wisp is an attack, so I don't think it applies.
Oh, is it like, so it's not a
Yeah,
spell, it's
outside,
just like,
it's
a
outside of his
spell
spell
attack.
cast.
okay,
Yeah.
then yeah, you're good.
Well, it's
not
a,
a
it's a
spell
ranged
slot.
attack. It's not like
Yeah.
a spell casting.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah,
Okay,
then you're
then
fine.
yes. Yep.
It's an innate ability. No verbal
Yeah.
components
There's
required.
some
No spell
like
components at all
there's some
required.
weird changes they made in regards to like stat blocks, because like now you can't upcast with any of monster spells because they only have like uses per day. So it's not like I have level 2 entangle that I can upcast or a level 3 moonbeam. It's
Yeah,
I
they
can use
don't like
Moonbeam
really
once
have
a day.
spell slots anymore, which
Yeah.
is interesting. I mean, it makes it easier to run spellcasters, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of does.
But he is going to make 2 ranged attacks. One against you, Svedna, one against you, Alistair. A 15 against you, Svedna.
Nope.
And 8 against you, Alistair.
Nope.
In the first session, our ACs were like 12, 13. And now that we're big bad
Yeah,
people, it's like
You're
Svedna's
18,
AC is
20,
20.
17. Yeah.
This is the fun part about playing guys that you've already played before. So that would have been the other cultist. Svedna.
Okay, where is the halfling that got blasted in relation to where she is?
Oh, he didn't go. Duh. The other
No.
human, the spy, he didn't go. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, you're good. You're good.
So he, which would have been the third human, this guy is like sandy blonde hair, cut short. He wears like it's like a scarf almost. It's like a one side of the shoulder cloak. It's like green, but there's a couple streaks of red. He runs and he's gonna grab the halfling, and he's gonna dash to grab him, which he can get to him, and then he's gonna dash again to get outside the entangle. So he's only about 20 feet away from you guys, but he's carrying the halfling man.
And I think I lost silence. I forgot to roll until Jason mentioned it. Whenever I got hit with the arrow, I rolled my con save and I got a 9 total, so I think it dropped.
Got it. All right, Svedna, now it is your turn.
No worries. Okay, so all of the air quotes civilians seem to be moving off the field. I think, as horrible as it sounds, that arrow that you mentioned that she took, I think there's this like weird part of her, that again, she was really grappling with before what happened in Drift. That is like, you deserve this, right? You deserve this barbed arrow being lodged into you. Those 2 people just died because of you, and she just rips it out of her arm, kind of grunting in pain, knowing there will be a fresh scar there at some point. And she is going to shoot 2 indigo lances at the druid that she hit with the hellish rebuke, because it's 120 feet. So
Sure.
go ahead and roll that. Wow, those are 2 5s for 2 11s. So I'm assuming an 11 does not hit this druid. Is that correct?
That is correct. You do have heroic inspiration.
I don't want to burn it on this though. Just a cantrip. Yeah, in that case, she will, after the 2 blasts go wide, probably because of the pain in her arm from where she took that barbed arrow, she will launch herself forward 30 feet, flying over the entangle if she can, just to get like 30 feet closer to where the centaurs and the druids are. Behind the tactical bear, the tank bear that is Guthrum, just flare her wings, and that will be the end of her turn, I think.
All right. So that brings us to the halfling. He's moving. He's moving out of the clearing. He also gets to the clearing. We see Tom, where he was now standing. He pulls this individual into the woods. That brings us to the Fireball Druid. He is going to run for cover behind the trees. And he is going to fire 3 arcane bursts at, well, it would be Svedna, but Svedna gone. I'll hold off on that one because he's attacking. I guess now because it goes to Alistair. Alistair, one of these. You can go. He's gonna hold his action until Svedna comes back. You go ahead.
Okay. All of the rest of the normies were cleared out from the middle of the clearing?
They're out of the middle of the entangle. The
Okay.
spy, the human, is still on the field.
Okay.
And that's it. The dwarf and the halfling were taken into the tree line.
Would they, even the ones that are running, would they be within 60 feet of me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Then he is going to, again, kind of like take his hand, realizing that his silence spell has failed. He's going to take his hand that's holding his shield and kind of redirect it in their direction, and kind of mutter a prayer to Enek as he reaches up and touches his holy symbol. And he's going to cast Mass Healing Word. As long as they're within 60 feet of me, I can choose up to 6 creatures that I can see that are within range.
Sure.
So there's what, 3 of them left that are living? Or 4?
There's 3. I would say that
Okay.
the dwarf might be too far.
Okay.
But the halfling.
So just 2 of them then?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Svedna's within 60?
Yes.
Okay. So she'll be number 3. And Guthrum, are you hurt at all yet? No? Okay. So it'll just be the 3 of them then. But I'm going to give them healing to the tune of 11 points back.
Okay.
That is a bonus action. And then for my actual action, I'm going to be pointing my other hand that's kind of holding Hugh directly at the druid that fireballed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to cast Sacred Flame upon him. So he needs to make a dexterity saving throw at a DC of 15.
12.
12, excellent. Okay. So we are level 5 or level 7, so it's 2d8 of radiant damage. That is 10 points of radiant.
Okay. You see as this radiant damage ripples across this individual's body, it burns almost like kindling. You see as like portions of these druids' clothes are burning with this radiant light. There's like stalks of like this wheatgrass that you see are like emerging from like the wounds. Almost like he's been stuffed. At least portions of him. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Nope, that's it. I'm striding 30 feet closer.
Okay. Svedna, no, he wasn't killed. The mage was going to attack you as soon as you walked away. He rolled.
Sorry.
That's quite all right.
You also got 11 points of healing.
You did also get 11 points of healing.
Righteous.
He rolled a 21, a 9, and then a nat 20 to hit you with an arcane burst, Svedna, as
Wait.
the mage that you attacked. Go ahead.
I have a reaction that I can use.
I suppose.
I suppose.
Oh, maybe not. Is Svedna within
Aha!
30 feet of me after I moved forward?
I'd say, yeah, she would have been. Yeah.
Okay. So when the critical is directed at her, something about its trajectory triggers Alistair's memory of like an incredibly deadly spell that killed someone on a battlefield that he once saw, and he reaches forward and just kind of says no, and as he does so, it kind of slightly changes off course just a little. As a reaction, if a creature within 30 feet of me, it just turns into a normal hit.
So it's 2 dirty 20s, basically, are the two that would go through. Dude, is it worth it to cast Shield, knowing that we are not going to get a long rest in this place? I'm gonna roll my decision D4. Odds I'll cast it. Evens I will not. All right, I'm not going to do it. All right, go ahead and roll your damage, Baron, for the 2 hits. All that wonderful Alistair healing is probably about to go away, but that's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. That's what it's there for.
The first one is 13 damage.
13, okay.
The second, wow, 9, 11 damage.
Okay. I think as this magical energy hits Svedna, maybe to your surprise, probably more Guthrum than Alistair, like she takes it like a champ. Like, I mean, she looks a little battered. She is not even bloodied yet, even after all of the damage she has taken. I think you get the sense that like her tolerance for pain just over the last like 8 or 9 years that she's been traveling, in the wake of what happened in the Rotwood, has gone up quite a bit. She has definitely seen some shit, as her many scars attest. Yeah, she's almost bloody, but not quite.
All right, so that brings us to the centaurs. The one that's standing in front of the druids is going to... Did you, Svedna, when you flew towards the druids, were you flying like to pass by the centaur, or would you have stopped at him first?
So where is Guthrum in relation to the centaurs?
So Guthrum is beside the one that had like strafed off to the side.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, she would have moved 30 feet directly forward towards that one that she had hit before with the crystalline burst with the hellish rebuke. So maybe that would have put her next to the centaur, caused her to bypass the centaur.
I think he would have tried to sit in front of you.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, they seem to be protecting the druids, so that makes sense.
Correct. And so like he puts his bow aside and kind of like anticipated you to run into him.
Mm-hmm.
He pulls up like this wicked looking pike made of like fashioned to a long stick, but it's like a jagged piece of bone or some broken femur or otherwise attached to the end of it. He's going to move forward and make 2 attacks with his pike.
Okay.
Night of the low rolls, I guess. A 10 and a 16, so neither hits.
Both will miss. Imagine she raises up that crystalline shield, kind of blocks it. Thanks, Light Omar.
We'll get to that.
I'm sure we will.
The second centaur will raise his pike at you, Guthrum. A 1 and a 24. So the 1 doesn't hit, but does the 24 hit?
The 24 hits, yeah.
All right, so I don't really like doing that crit 1 fails. It's kind of punishing on both sides. But I will, because it's funny. I think you snap.
Yeah, it is funny.
I think you snap his pike when he attacks you with the first one. That's a 1. It just kind of like smashes against your thick hide and snaps. But he is going to make his second attack. It's just the jagged end of this pike. It won't do the full damage, but it will still hit you for 10 points of piercing damage as he able to find some flesh that is exposed enough to jab into. That brings us to the cultist, who you see he turns and his hood falls. He too seems to have some of this like grass coming out of him, but Svedna, you also see that like along like the underside of his jaw and like down his neck, he too has like crystalline growths. They're nothing compared to yours, but it's almost like a mold in itself is growing on his neck. But there's like a couple of them that seem to have been like forcefully inserted. You can see like it's swollen and irritated. This must have happened pre-death state. That's just a quick glance. He turns and in a voice like insect parts rubbing against themselves, take care of this. And his cloak kind of like collapses as he casts Misty Step into the tree line.
Question, Baron.
Yes.
So like the places where the crystalline growths had been inserted, did it look like kind of like what it seemed like with Halaster, like the skin was almost like corroding and peeling back? Or because I know you said it happened after death, right? So it might be kind of hard to tell, but does it look like a similar thing?
It'd be better if you could have killed him and examined it closer.
Fair. Makes total sense.
Similar to like when you hex somebody, you throw these crystals and they embed themselves into their flesh. How it pierces them,
Right.
This seems intentional. Like someone had like pushed these things into him to elicit a reaction.
Okay. Thank you.
He disappears. The dwarf is in the tree line. The human that remains, we thank you. And he runs. Which brings us to Guthrum.
So, is there still the centaur in front of me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Well, we know what I'm going to do then. I'm going to tear into this motherfucker. Okay. Bear gets 2 attacks. First attack with my bite. 11.
11 will not hit.
Yeah. And I will go with my claw. Oh wait, that was.
Do you get a bonus for being enlarged?
I get bonus damage.
Oh.
And bonus on strength checks, but that's not attacks.
Should be.
Is it?
I don't know. Is it? I don't think so.
What is it?
Our attack roll strength checks?
I mean, technically, but I think like for like wild shape purposes, any like bonuses you get are included in the attack for the wild shape form. Yeah.
No. This is for my enlarged, not for the wild shape.
Oh, then yeah, you would add that.
The target has advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws.
Yeah.
So let's I mean, we can just say that anything that applies the strength modifier would be a strength check.
Hell yeah. Well, in that case, dirty 20.
That'll hit.
Yeah. Cool. So I get to roll.
Hold on, was it so you get advantage on strength checks?
Then I get advantage on them.
So this would be your first attack, and then you'd still have a second attack.
Yeah, I still have a second attack. Yeah. So do you want me to roll the damage together? I'll roll the damage together. The second attack, which is my claw.
Give me damage for the first one first.
Okay, yeah, good, because I just got a nat 20 on my claw.
Perfect.
Okay. Damage for the first one is a D8 plus a D4 plus 3. 11 slashing.
What does it look like as you slay this horse amalgamation?
Yeah, this is the giant bear goes over to bite at the torso, and it just rips it off, making it no longer a centaur, but a half human and half horse or headless horse.
What it was once more, it shall remain.
Yeah.
You can move and keep
Yeah.
that second attack. You can probably get to
That's
the, you can
straight
get
to the
other-
druid, if I can. Yeah,
Sure.
great. Nat 20 on the druid with my claw.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is going to be 2d4 plus 3 times 2.
Our crits roll the dice twice or
I
double
think
it?
what we did before is you had us do max and then roll for it.
I have custom rules for this that I gave you. Hold on. Crits
Is
are
it-
handled traditionally. Roll the dice twice and then add bonuses.
I lied. I was wrong.
Okay, so
I've
4d4.
done both, so. But I remember
Consistent. No, I'm
writing
just
this
kidding.
one. I remember
Fair
writing
enough.
this
Hey, you know what? That's what counts. That you wrote it down.
Okay, so the first set of damage, my first roll for damage is 10 plus another for the crit. Yeah, plus another 7. So 17 from my claw. Like a giant claw.
You rend a huge arc of flesh from this druid's living corpse, and you see that his torso has been just absolutely stuffed with this wheatgrass. Now that you've hit him, it's like he's almost like a scarecrow. It doesn't seem like there's much to him.
Bummer.
He looks pretty mangled though. Is there anything else you would like to do?
No, but full disclosure, I definitely forgot my concentration on my enlarge. Which kind of
Sure.
fucks up that whole turn.
What do you
I
mean?
got hit with the pike for 10 damage. So I have to do a con check for that. I'm gonna do it now, but sorry, I
Do it.
used my enlarge.
Let's just see. I don't really care, to be honest.
I passed it
Actually,
anyway.
thank you for reminding Philip. Jeremy, Shield of Faith is gone. Svedna
Okay.
lost her concentration on that.
Good to
So
know. Thank you.
-2 to AC.
I'm good. I'm still big boy. All right.
All right. That was.
We'll figure out how to play this
Guthrum.
game.
How long have we been playing?
A long time. Svedna. There is one mage that is fighting with Bear Guthrum. There's one centaur that is in between you and that druid mage. And then Alistair is coming up from behind. It seems as if all the NPCs are off the field.
Okay. I assume, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Philip, like Guthrum Bear looks fine, right? Like with the damage they say, okay, I figured as much. All right. So she will bonus action. She will, as she draws Greshka, she will whisper under her breath, Kruthok, the elvish word for wrath, as these, I think now it is also this indigo color. This sort of purplish blue flame ignites along this stone elvish blade. These little cinders drift off of the sword. And then as an action, she will attack the remaining centaur that she is right up against.
Okay. Give me that.
That is a dirtiest of 20s.
That'll hit.
So that will be, let's do this here. Oh, rolled it all at once. Okay. That is a total of 6 points of magical slashing and 8 points of fire for a total of 14 points of damage to the centaur.
What does it look like as you slay this undead amalgamation?
I think she decapitates it. I think she just slices its head off and then maybe like kind of double hands the sword back and just plunges it down into the neck stump. And just these veins of indigo flame just burst through this thing as it is reduced to ashes by this ancient elvish blade, leaving nothing but dust behind.
You still have movement. I think you still have a second attack, don't you?
I do not, unfortunately. Again, we baby paladin mixed with warlock.
Oh,
She will.
got
Yeah,
it.
she will launch herself forward to get to, if she can, with 30 feet of flying to the other side of the druid. I don't know if we're doing flanking, but even just from like a tactical standpoint.
You'd be able to flank with him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so she'll land behind this druid. Again, the wings flare, the flaming blade is at the ready, and that will end her turn.
Dead mage. The mage, who was kind of like aggressively moving towards you, he sees that his defenses have been killed.
And I clawed him.
You clawed him really good.
I'll do it again. I say to him.
I'll fucking do it again, dude.
But you're a bear, so it just sounds like.
I retain my ability to speak also in wild shape.
It's funnier the other way, Phil. No, I'm just kidding.
I think it's funnier that his voice is exactly the same in the giant. You're like, wait, what?
He resigns himself to his fate. He is going to cast 3 arcane bursts, 2 at you. Actually, he's going to do 1 at each of you. Okay. 19 to Alistair, 24 to Svedna, 17 to Guthrum.
Just barely.
I see what you did there.
Did that hit everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. He resigns to his fate that you guys are all about to kill him, but he will go out with a... all right. 7 to Svedna, 3 to Alistair, 8 to Guthrum.
What type of damage is it?
This is force damage.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Given
Don't
that
forget
that
your
is,
concentrations.
given that if he moves,
Thanks,
he'll
Philip.
provoke an attack from both of you that will probably kill him. He's going to say where he's at.
Probably not with an 8.
Okay, Guthrum.
I'll bite him. Oh,
Damn.
opportunity attack.
Attack, yeah. The undead druid is moving
Because
away.
he's running. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh, not one.
You know what? I will burn my heroic inspiration to re-roll that noise because that's ridiculous.
Oh, okay.
That's an 18, which I assume will hit.
He
has a higher AC than 18.
No, he can cast shield though.
Oh, fair enough.
He's got to escape, man. Who?
He will cast shield. He can
That's
do it up to 3
son
times
of a
per turn.
bitch. All right, fair enough.
Which will bump him to 20.
Oh yeah,
and
I
he's
can't
going to run
What's his movement?
30 feet, so he's still within the clearing. You guys will have 1 more turn.
okay, fair enough.
Plus, it's Alistair's turn.
Nice.
Yeah, he this druid kind of takes off running, and Alistair shakes his head. Oh, I don't think so. And he is going to cast Sacred Flame at him again. DC Dexterity DC of 15.
He rolled a 6.
Okay, so he's going to take 2d8 radiant damage and burn with holy hellfire. It's 9 points of radiant.
Radiant damage is doubled. This radiant light ignites this wheatgrass within the effigy druid person. And he, as he's running, you see him like, and like he catches like an old Christmas tree, burns, and like before he can take his second step after this hits, it's just robes hitting the ground. They kind of like smoke with the steam of burnt moisture. The turmoil in the clearing ends. The group of you gather your wits. Quick stock about you. You've seen Tom take the halfling into the tree line. You see the spy run into the tree line, and you've seen Janus take the dwarf to the tree line. So presumably they're safe. Roll a perception check, everybody, and then we'll take our break.
$17.
Also a 17.
Dirty 20.
There is nothing making noise in this forest at all. And then there is. It's ambient, and you guys check for it almost instinctually. You guys were fighting. This was not quiet. And if the undead in these areas are, if anything, they're persistent to noise. So you all stand there. You sheath your weapons. You listen. You listen. There's nothing. There's nothing. And then you hear the groan. Let's go to break.
Fantastic. All right.
Oh no.
We're back in 10?
Yeah, let's shoot for like 9.
Okay,
Sounds
perfect.
good to me.
All right, sit tight. We will be right back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back from the break. We are here with part 2 of part 1 of the Saga of the Ards. Take it away, Brian.
Part 2 of part 1 of part 3.
You get it.
All right. You're running, all of you. The three of you, alongside your companions Tom and Janus, are moving as quickly as you can through road, underbrush, whatever path is easiest, given that there are portions of the road that are probably like obstructed with carriages or like the remains of carnage that had happened down the road. So you guys are like moving as quickly as you can. There's like a slight flashback to you guys speaking with these the men you saved. Specifically, the human that survived. He introduces himself. Hello, I'm Matthew. I work for the Blackthorn Retrieval Group. We've been sent here to recover artifacts for... not artifacts, heirlooms and other valuables for people outside the woods. It's a shame what happened to Jack and Jonathan, but Tyrell and Colm here can attest that they were good men, and they would have... This is what we've signed up for. He reaches into that half cloak with red streaks, pulls out a rolled piece of paper. We're leaving. But here. And he like hands this piece of paper to presumably Alistair Svedna, because he wouldn't come in contact with the bear. And you unroll, and it is a loose map. Hand drawn. But it effectively shows you guys like a quick path to the edge of the city. Janos even like looking over your shoulder, Svedna. That's smart. I didn't think about this gap here in the stones. Provide cover and allow us to... Very well, we'll use this. Thank you. The man Matthew. We're not all bad under the banner. Blackthorn has a bad reputation. But he's got funding. And if I can help give back to the people that have lost so much, then gods, look out for us. Yeah, Colm was the halfling. He was bleeding. Alistair, you've probably been able to apply some first aid. He was healed, actually. You healed him. The dwarf kind of like gets him up onto his shoulder, you know. Thank you. They turn to leave. Running. There isn't a lot of time. They take off into the... Actually, I think this is what happens. I think Janus hands you the map. Do you think you can get there? These men will not make it. It's too far.
I think Svedna will be the one that has the map in her hands. I think she'll kind of look to Tom, knowing that he's somewhat skilled at tracking and hunting. And she'll look over to Bear Guthrum, and then over to Alistair, and then she'll look back to Janos and say, I think we'll be fine. We have to be.
He nods. I think he probably puts a hand out to like quickly, you know, grasp each one of your arms. Be safe. Walk the long path with grace. Let's go. And he grabs the remainder of the Blackthorn retrieval group, and they take off back a way similar to the way you came. And you have all... We find you now, running. This is going to be a skill challenge. We're looking for 3 successes over 3 failures. These will be group skill challenges. So the 3 of you will need to roll the same skill. We'll average it and see if that beats the DC.
Interesting. Okay.
Rather than have you guys choose the event, I'm going to describe the event and then you guys can react. So you're running, and as you're running, this path that you're taking takes you off the main road to avoid like this large, it's like an identified horde that exists up on the road. So you've taken off into the forest, but as you're running, you notice like the forest itself is almost chasing you. These vines seem to move along the ground, roots raise slightly, it seems. It's hard to track because you're running. More or less, these vines seek to wrap themselves around your feet. We're looking for a DC 13 to escape the writhing ground.
How do we feel about survival for everybody? Team?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay.
All
So
right.
we're all rolling the same thing, correct? And then we got to try to beat a
You
decent.
do have 3 things to roll also.
Right.
Mm-hmm. At least.
That's a failure. Unfortunately.
16.
I got an 18.
I got a 11.
2 to 3, we'll pass you. I'm not going to do the averages. We'll just go by. 2 to 3 is a pass. You are running. Can you guys describe to me the teamwork that we see here? Tom, despite his age, despite the fact that you all are probably hungry already, is spry, and he's hauling ass. I mean, his skill doesn't aid you, but it doesn't
impede you. Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel like I'm barreling straight ahead, just with my claws and teeth, carving the path for us.
I think for Svedna, I think what ends up happening, the reason that she fails is maybe she's trying to keep pace with Tom, because she doesn't want to lose sight of him as he's, as you said, like hauling ass through the trees. And I think maybe some of the vines kind of almost like tangle around her wings. And she knows that if she tries to push through it, she could rip the membrane and just destroy her wings. And I think she just like, she's just like stuck there until Bear Guthrum just comes barreling behind her and like probably with a little bit more delicacy and finesse. She uses little bear claws to like carve apart the vine so that she can keep flying, but that does slow down the group a little bit in this instance.
And it's almost in the back of your mind, Sven, as you're caught. You can hear the groans of the horde louder. Just in those, like, just in the moments where you're confined, where it's like you're like thinking about trying to pull through, and it's like, no, that'll fuck me up, and it's like you can hear that. But as soon as you're running, the blood's pumping in your ears again, and you can bypass it. With a success, the horde does not come closer.
What about Alistair? What does Alistair do for his survival check?
Yeah, I think Alistair is kind of just recalling what it's like to try to navigate through a battlefield that is littered with corpses and churned earth, remnants of spells that have gone off or gone awry, and he's used to very quickly kind of like looking in front of him and choosing like where it's best to put his footing, to very quickly just traverse over this ground as quickly as possible, and just not even paying attention to like what's behind him.
You guys are hurtling through these trees. The path continues through the woods, and you enter. It's like a grove, similar to probably like what the druids would use for some sort of audience of some kind. It's very open space, kind of like domed by these trees. But as you enter the grove, you see that all the trees have like vines pulling up corpses in these bloated sacks that kind of exist around the periphery of this area. And as you run through it, they start to release like a gas. You have to run through the corpse grove.
How is like acrobatics or athletics for everybody? Is there a preference for one of the two to maybe just like dodge out of the way of stinky gas?
Yeah,
Definitely
athletics might be best.
But what do you think about like a medicine or something like
Medicine
that?
would be better for me.
Okay,
For
I have
sure.
a +1 to medicine, so I could certainly try, but I'm down with either.
I have +3. Yeah.
I have a
Let's
+7.
try
With
medicine.
DC 15.
Oh fuck.
Oh boy! All right.
Yeah, let's save some. Yeah, let's do medicine.
We're gonna do medicine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
18.
Also an 18.
Nice.
I'm gonna bring down
17
the,
plus
the
1.
average with an 11.
Oh no!
That's all right. 2 over 3. You barrel through the corpse grove. I think everyone kind of like instinctually like covers their faces with cloaks. I really should have had
me.
you roll that with disadvantage go through because you're probably
That's-
large sizes not helping,
That's true.
but that's okay.
I also, have like defense versus poison. It's just, as a big bear.
That's valid. You guys have avoided the poison of the corpse grove.
Thank God. Sounds gnarly.
So in theory, it is just the one more challenge if you can pass. Tom disappears from your vision for a moment, Svedna.
Panic.
and-
Immediate panic.
Yeah, you panic, you rush forward. Guthrum and Alistair are behind you. You reach a fork. The choice left or right doesn't matter. It's the skill check. So
Good with nature or perception or
perception
insight.
would be better for me. Actually, insight would be really good for me if we can do insight. You good with that, Jeremy?
I also have a +7 on insight,
Good lord.
so I would definitely be good with that.
Hail on neck.
You say hail Onic.
You all run forward to meet up with Svenna, who's at this fork, and you all kind of do your best to try and figure out the best course, left or right. You look, and one is clearly much steeper and harder to traverse than the other. And whether it's the correct path or not, you choose to go the easier route. You avoid a point of exhaustion by taking the low road. This ultimately brings you to the very edge of Darkhaven. Greenhaven is no longer green. There is nothing living here. We see hues of gray, white, black. There is no color, as if the life of the land was drained itself. Tom is still not with you. Svenna, you will have one final check.
God damn it. Can it be a repeat of a previous skill, or it has to be something completely different? I'm fine either way. Just figure out how to ask.
I'm fine with it being the same.
Oh man. I think she will go with survival again. I think she'll try to remember sort of what she learned by hunting sort of the undead and other monsters outside of Drift with Tom back when they first met, to try and pick up on like the little like tells that he'll leave along the trail, like the trail signs and markers and stuff to mark his passage. It's only a 10.
You are panicked. Tom has been a rock for many people, and most recently probably you.
Absolutely.
He is just a consistent guy. You are looking for signs, and as you're walking there is a snap of a twig. Alistair and Guthrum are behind you. Guthrum, you're probably reverting back from your bear form at this point. And there's a snap. This happens instantaneously, Svedna. The snap, and then you are being pushed. Tom is shoving you out of the way, and this snap has released some sort of trap that springs forth, and like 6 sharpened stakes embed themselves into Tom's torso. You quickly right yourself and look over at these nasty looking weapons protruding from Tom's body, and he looks, he smiles, and he kind of like puts his head back and he coughs, and the white mustache is flecked with red.
Can she get to him at all?
Yeah, I mean, you're close enough.
Okay. No, like there's nothing and nobody else in the world right now. She launches herself at him. I think her hands again start to glow with this sort of metallic white light, like the heat from a forge, like her own sort of infernal heritage is coming to the surface. She's going to use 5 points of lay on hands to try and help Tom. I think she'll like try to like, I don't even know what she would do if he's like impaled. I think she'd try to like ease the pain as she tries to slide him off, as horrible as it sounds. Like, and I think the whole time she's just muttering to him, it's all right. You'll be fine. It's all right. And she'll just kind of like guide him off to, or try to, as best she can.
As you pull,
Mm-hmm.
he takes another 16 points of damage.
16?
Yes. He could survive if you healed him again, if you pulled him off completely.
Yep. I'm thinking about it, percolating. You know what? Yeah, I think, yeah, no, they've been through way too much together since they've known each other. I don't think she's going to let him go.
I think
Yeah,
there
go ahead.
is a moment in your grief, because I feel like you're come on, Tom, you're pulling him off, and he's just
Come
like,
on.
I think he like reaches up and he puts his hand on your arm that you're pulling him off of this trap with, and you are consumed by the void that is Vazikil. Something that does not happen frequently anymore. There has been such turmoil in your heart with this thing that you've shared so much, so many secrets withheld, perhaps on both ends. You are in the depths of despair, seeing your friend. There's more blood leaking from his lips onto his chin. And like I said, you are brought to this memory in this void of the Vazikil that is almost identical, deja vu-like, inherently serendipitous in how close this is. You are beside a large building made of stones so closely stacked together that you couldn't fit a piece of parchment through them. This massive stone structure stands beside a tree. It's black. It almost looks metallic. Its top's ringed with branches that go out to the sky. This individual speaks to you in Elvish, and I'm not sure if you speak it now, but you are aware of what he's saying. And as you speak to him, you also are speaking Elvish. This person is mangled. There seems to be like a scene of like an explosion of some kind. You cannot recognize this destruction, as it is like metal ripped to pieces. Magic of this kind is just so unnatural, even in the context that you're seeing it. This person's bleeding from their mouth, their golden eyes looking at you with such sorrow and such sadness and such despair. that they have to leave you. You feel yourself just pumping as much healing as you can into them. Vazikil doing what it can to aid you in this, despite its lack of inherent understanding. But it's not Vazikil. It's this woman. It's almost as if maybe they're one and the same, or not at all. Whatever the case, you feel tethered to this tree. You are pumping these healing spells into this person that's dying in front of you. And as you see the light fade from their eyes, you continue and just pump and pump these much divine energy as you possibly can. And still, they fall limp and lifeless in your arms. And you are back, and you feel Tom reach up and grab your hand. It's okay. Sometimes we can't all go on the adventure.
Don't leave. Please don't leave.
I'm not leaving.
I think she locks eyes with him, seeing that he's probably lost way too much blood at this point for her to do anything, and honestly, continuing to pull him is probably going to hurt him more. And yeah, I think she just tries to kind of comfort him as best she can in this moment as he fades from her. I think Alistair, especially, you see like it's just this horrible, like the tendrils of creeping grief and that despair just opening up all over again. You know, she spent the last year learning from you as best she can about, you know, the teachings of Anek, that death is not the opposite of life. Death is part of life. It is part of this cycle. Learning to put down the burning ember of her past mistakes, and you can see it, I think, just unraveling right in front of you, like a sweater being pulled apart thread by thread, as she watches this dwarf die in agony, and she's unable to stop it.
He bears his agony stoically, and from your arm, he raises his hand to your cheek. Go on, you be a good lass. You put an end to all this now. Only you can.
She nods and takes a breath, maybe kind of like tries to wipe some of the blood away, you know, kind of straighten him up a little bit as best she can. I think she just kind of like gently butts her forehead against his as she watches him go.
Alistair, you're able to approach this, and of course your first instinct is to heal him, but it's one of those things that magic cannot replace. Yeah, you can tell immediately from your time in the field that wounds like these, they take you when they want you.
Yeah. Anek has made his decision.
Exactly. Anek ultimately decides. And
so I think Alistair actually comes up behind Svedna and puts a hand kind of on her shoulder, and just squeezes ever so slightly. And he says, one of the most difficult lessons that Anek teaches us is that it is not our choice when we make the crossing. But in rare instances, we can make the journey on our own, of our own accord. We can make the choice. Tom has made this choice. And in this moment, his crossing will give all of the memories, all of the stories, meaning.
Do you remove him from the trap?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think she listens to you, Alistair, and she nods once. I think she smiles a little, but I think you can see kind of the sheen of unshed tears in her eyes as she says, "You're very good at this." And then she will very gently start to remove Tom's body from the spikes. Um, I think she'll actually look to you, Alistair. She's kind of like cradling this body and just say, "Is it even safe to bury him here? Should we burn him?"
Do you know his custom?
That's a good question, Baron. What is the traditional dwarven, or I guess really honestly, since Tom was kind of a veteran of war himself and kind of, I imagine, lived relatively by himself outside of Drift, did he
I
have
think
a
since
preference?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think realistically, you would know. You all would know. This is probably something we've all discussed, like over the campfire. Like if I go, this is how I,
Ah, a fun talk.
yeah. Furthermore, he needs rights, otherwise he might rise as an undead. I think he'd have been like, he probably would have had a cairn burial.
Mm.
I'm sure if you were to take the route of some sort of final rites here, you would be able to find the stones to do so without any kind of hindrance from you. I think also as you now kind of gather your senses, the groan has seemed to have died down, or at least changed directions.
We could make him a cairn. You could say the words. I'll help you find the stones.
It probably would be for the best. It seems as though there may be a lull for the moment. We should give it the amount of time that is proper to lay him to rest, but we should also do so quickly.
She'll nod. And then, yeah, I think she'll, mostly wordlessly, I think she will help you find like the stones that are suitable for a cairn, Alistair, knowing that this is definitely your area of expertise.
Yeah, he'll definitely like look for like a low depression in the ground somewhere, kind of like a natural like, divot to place his body in, and then start to stack stones in the way. And as he does so, goes through the rites that he knows, at least, that Anek provides for the crossing.
Guthrum is definitely helping with, and echoes your sentiment, Alistair, as respectfully as possible. Let's do this as quickly as possible.
Are there any final words for Tom?
I don't think so. I actually think, just because why not? I think Svedna will kind of reach into her belongings, such as they are, and she pulls out that flask containing the dwarven fire water, the dwarven fire wine that she and Tom shared a little bit of back in Drift a year ago. I imagine like they've just kind of passed the flask between the two of them, refilling it with whatever booze we've come across in our year of travel with Alistair. I think she'll take a drink and just kind of pour the rest of it beside the cairn. And I think she'll leave the flask. I think she kind of like tucks it into Tom's hand, kind of wraps his fingers around it, and then she'll step back.
I think Alistair will place the final few stones for the cairn, and he'll stand up again holding his holy symbol of Anek, and he stays silent for just a moment. And when he realizes that Svedna has nothing more to say, he will just add, "It is difficult to say goodbye to the people that we have grown to know and love here in this mortal coil. But Anek teaches us that there is more. There is a next. And as difficult as it may be for us to understand what that looks like, or what it may be, there is comfort that we must take. and the fact that there are those that we know and love who have gone before us, and who will make comfortable that place that we will one day visit ourselves. Some of us, maybe sooner than later. Tom goes ahead of us, as he often did, to cut a path through the darkness, and make sure that when we finally arrive, that we will be comfortable and happy.
From across this small clearing, you see a small orange and white fox sitting, observing. Like cocks its head, it stands and turns and walks into the trees.
I think Svenna takes breath and she looks to you, Alistair, and then looks to you as well, Guthrum, and says, there is something that I need to tell you both, I think. And she kind of looks back over her shoulder at the cairn for a moment. The Headless One. I think she does kind of chuckle, but there's no mirth in it. There's no joy in it. I think it is a pained, guttural sound. And she says, the Headless One is possessing the corpse of someone that I know. A man that I courted for a time by the name of Finubar Padraig. And I think her gaze kind of settles on you, Alistair. Again, these just completely indigo eyes. I imagine it's a little eerie. As she says, if there is any way that we can save him, I would like to try, because I can't keep losing people.
I swear to you that we will do everything that we can to save him. But also know this. If it turns out that he cannot be saved, then we will exact vengeance for what this rot has caused using his image.
She'll nod. Hopefully that will be enough.
One way or another, this will be done.
She definitely nods at that. Yeah, I think her spine straightens when you say that, because I do think, like, I know Janus had talked about concerns about not having enough food to get back. I think you see in this moment, Alistair, with just your passive insight, that Svenna was not at all concerned about going back. This is potentially a one-way trip for her. She just isn't even thinking about that at this point. And she's not, I mean, there's probably some fear there, but she is, especially after losing Tom, like, I think she's just, this is it. This is the arrow loose from the quiver, loose from the bow, and all that matters is getting to the destination and hitting the target.
You're not far from the walls of Darkhaven. What would you like to do?
Can we call that a short rest?
Yeah, what time of day?
I would say if
at?
you are gonna try and take a short rest, you'd have to like bunker down, secure. I guess let me go further and say that the entire time you've been within the Rotwood, there's like a miasmic haze that just lingers, and finding rest is challenging. Via stress, but also it seems magically. And also, yeah, it's hard to tell time in here. So like a short rest being an hour isn't as it's just not as easy.
Now that we're this close to the town, have there been any kind of like outlying buildings or anything that are still standing?
Let's roll for survival.
Excellent. We doing another
I mean,
group roll or just somebody?
realistically, I mean, if that's what you're doing, if anybody else is doing anything different, they could
Oh.
probably.
Sure.
I would actually like to try to do speak with animals if possible, and just see if there are any animals.
Sure.
Just trying to get some information about like how's it looking.
I think Svedna will leave that to the dwarf and the human, I think, for now. I'm just going to stay
Sure.
by the cairn for a little bit.
Alistair, you're able to find, it's not a complete building. It's probably the least dilapidated. It does have like ceiling cover. It's probably like a 2-story building. The like thick oak timbers just didn't burn all the way through. And it provides kind of like a lean-to structure. And then Guthrum, you're using animal handling.
Speak with animals, the spell.
Or yeah. You speak with animals. Use animal handling to see if you can coax any out to you. The only animal you've seen in the last day is this fox that just took off into the woods.
Yeah.
Animal handling 2026.
12.
I think it takes some doing, but you're able to find some rodents.
Yeah. And I'll just ask them like where they've been getting food around here.
You can. They are not like super coherent. They're not fat, but they just, you get images of like bloated corpses. Other rats.
Do they, so I guess I just see if they've seen any humans alive.
They express to you that some of the 2 legs that walk are not alive. Some of the 2 legs that walk are more alive than the ones that aren't alive, but still not alive. And you get images of like a fracture in a wall somewhere around the city where they're able to, where you think actually a party of people could get through without going through the main gate.
Thank you. Perfect. Give them some cheese.
They literally start fighting to the death.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess if Guthrum shares that with everyone, Svedna will pull out the map and see if she can kind of check that location that the rats had mentioned to see if, or the vicinity that the rats had mentioned, see if there's anything in there.
It seems to coincide with this like ink mark along the edge of the city.
Well, let's go then. Probably be our last chance to rest before we get in there.
So you bunker down into the dilapidated building, and you're attempting to take a short rest.
Yeah.
Does it have like a? Does it have a cellar or anything with it?
No.
Okay. So yeah, I think probably, we'll get up against whatever walls are remaining, particularly if there's any walls that kind of face the city, to give us a little bit of like breakage of line of sight. Probably go without a fire, I imagine, being this close, and maintain a watch order for sure. Would be my recommendation.
Who is taking first watch?
I'll go first.
All right, Guthrum. Let me get a perception check.
$12.
The worst part about the Routwood now is that it is quiet. It's just unnerving. It's almost like just miles and miles of those like acoustically nullifying rooms where people like go crazy because there's no sound. It's just like there's just no sound. Even it seems like when the wind blows through the trees, it doesn't rustle. It doesn't seem like the world is breathing here. And from where you sit, you can see that it is like early evening, you think. But your watch is uneventful. Who's next?
I can go. Your perception again?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's a crit. Or, well, it wouldn't be a crit, but 24.
You were sitting there and reflecting on the day. There is someone walking. They're almost stumbling.
They look like they're approaching.
Yes.
Okay. I think very quietly he will just kind of like kick the bottom of the boots of both Svedna and Guthrum.
Is everything all right? What happened?
He kind of like puts a finger to his lips and like kneels down. And then he just kind of like motions in the general direction that he saw this individual. And then he'll move into like a position where he can kind of crouch behind part of a broken wall or something, or a window, and kind of like keep an eye on this person.
I think Svedna will kind of look out. Maybe she'll even like flare the wings a little bit to obscure the others if someone is looking in, or this person might be looking in, but not so much to block the view of who this potential individual is.
They continue to approach. Svedna, you have dark vision.
I do, out to 60 feet, and I think so does
You see
At 120.
slender,
Damn.
a slender elvish figure. It's hard to distinguish color, but you recognize them, and they recognize you. Svedna, what are you doing here?
Oh shit. She'll kind of lower the wings, look to the others. I think it might be Sean, maybe.
And I think that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Yay. Bravo.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Oh,
Fantastic.
Sean.
Yeah.
Congrats, Baron. You
Very-
got exactly what you wanted, you
Very
beast.
You
Very
said
strong
kill
start.
Tom, so I wrote that down. I was like, all
No,
right, kill him.
I was more like, oh yes, we must shed tears to appease the Headless One. I was like, fuck.
Here
That
you
got
go,
me a little
dude.
bit.
You're like, this is what I want. It's like, okay, here.
Yeah, that's true. Masochism.
So
And you're
good.
like, why did I have this? It's
Why
like,
did I do this? Why would Baron do this? Good shit.
Consequences of my own actions.
I know. If it isn't the consequences of my own failed saving throws.
What a strong start, man.
Damn, dude. Very much so.
Just wait, there's more.
Oh no.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I know, right?
Thank you guys for doing this with me. Shout out to Karen, who we hope you feel better. Can only express how bummed we were that you weren't feeling up to snuff this afternoon. Hopefully my accent wasn't terrible.
It's okay. Mine was a little spotty too, so it's all good. It
No, I
happens.
mean for Sean. My other ones I know are trash.
We'll fix it in post.
There we go. Yeah.
And send it to editing. Well, that's all I got for you guys tonight. Thank you for participating. Thank you anyone who watched, will watch, or has watched in the past. That's it. Jeremy.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Baron. This was incredible. I love, like I said, this group of people and getting the chance to kind of come back and revisit a character concept with like played history attached to them. It's a lot of fun. It gives a lot of context to the choices that we get to make for them. So yeah, absolute pleasure. So thank you for coming onto the channel and running a game. Your 7th of 9.
My 7th of
yeah,
9.
Which is fucking awesome.
The first.
I'm looking forward to 8 and 9.
3.
Yeah, 3 of 3. So yeah, I guess, is there anything anybody else wants to say or add before we get out of here?
I've got nothing to plug. I'll be back on MTD on Monday. Come hang out on Twitch.
When is our next session of this campaign? That might be a good thing.
That's
to
a good
plug.
one.
Yeah.
The next session of this campaign will be January 25th, roughly 7 p.m. Eastern, where we will hopefully encounter Sean, but also just in like the next time on Trauma.
Ardlands Ball Z.
The emissaries of Darkhaven. You may or may not encounter them depending on how you go inside. So
yes, the mouths of Sauron.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, kinda.
Actually, yeah. Yeah, that's me. I'm Baron. I ran the game. Thank you, Jason, Philip. If you have anything.
Yeah, no, I'll just say, it was Jason Osorio playing Svedna Nazif, and Jesus Christ, like Jeremy said, an amazing, strong start. Thank you so much, Baron. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Thank you so much to my, I guess really just Philip, because he's the only other person that I haven't named. So yeah, this was great.
Thanks to my
and
Philip.
I was about to say thanks to my Philip.
Thanks to my
Philip.
Yeah.
And yeah, I cannot wait for the 25th to see how things go. And again, I as you said, Baron, I hope we get Karen back in here, have the full set, but. Either way, we'll be here.
Happy to be your Philip. Can't wait for Karen to come back.
I'll be your Philip.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
I'll be your Philip.
All right, Jeremy, get us
Incredible.
out of here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Descend into madness.
Too late. This is fantastic. Thank all of you very much. Until next time, may your dice roll high and your snacks always be within reach.